Okay, so in this session we are going to have some fun. And what I'm going to do is something that I've never done before. I'm going to show you how to create professional looking video, and also we're going to compare some video recorders, we're going to compare some audio equipment, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you how I do it and show you how you can do it as well. Now, I first want to start off by saying that the equipment that I use to get these really nice looking videos is pretty nice equipment. But the equipment that we've used in the past to get really nice video has been very okay equipment. I'm actually going to show it to you. I'm going to show you the exact equipment that we use to shoot these videos and our last version. And I'm going to show you some other equipment as well. Now, in this video, we're not going to get into video editing and audio editing, and we're not going to get into the software that you need for that. What we're strictly going to focus on is the quality of the video and the quality of the audio, and what different types of video recorders and audio microphones look like and sound like. So before we talk about audio and microphones, and before we talk about video and video cameras, let's talk about the most important part of creating a beautiful video production. Guess what it is? It's the lighting. The lighting is everything. If you have poor lighting but a $100,000 video camera, you're probably going to make bad looking video. But if you have great lighting and even a cheap and inexpensive video camera, you can make video that looks beautiful. Okay, so the lighting is very, very important. And I'm going to show you why right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go and I'm going to show you a couple of different types of lighting that aren't this type of lighting. I'm going to walk over to my little hallway over here, and I'm going to turn on just the lights that are on the ceiling so that you can get a feel. And I'm going to use this little flip video camera here so that you can see what it's all about. Okay, so this is me standing up. I've got, you know, kind of a nice brown wall in the background, which might be a nice background ordinarily, but I've got just a regular incandescent light bulb above my head. Notice how, because it's lighting from here, there's weird shadows. You can't see my eyes very well, and I'm just not lit very well. It doesn't look very professional. Also, the audio sounds weird because I'm standing in a hallway here, right? So you can hear a little bit of an echo. You hear that little bit of a ring? Okay. So, you know, normally you might think that this would be fine to just stand in a hallway with a background like this and a light, but as you can see, it really doesn't look that sharp. So here, watch this. I'm going to turn off this light. I'm going to turn on this light. Okay, so this was an incandescent bulb lighting me from here. Now this is a big fluorescent ceiling unit that's just mounted in my kitchen, and you can see that it's a totally different kind of light. Now, it lights my face more, you can see my eyes better, and it lights me up a little bit, but because it's a fluorescent light bulb, a standard fluorescent, it's kind of got a weird color and makes the background kind of look a little bit weird. Okay? This would be better because it's a little bit softer, and it doesn't have that, you know, dark-eyed kind of look, but it just doesn't look that professional. Okay, so now we're back in front of my normal lighting setup. And one of the things you'll notice is that this lighting seems much more natural. Even though there are a lot more lights involved and it's more complex, it doesn't seem as flat. Okay? It seems like, you know, there are layers and dimensions to it, and I'll show you why that is in just a moment. So I highly recommend that if you're going to shoot video, you take the steps that I'm about to teach you to not have your video look like the videos that we were just looking at. You notice how the light seems very natural here. Okay, and that is because I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are basically 7 lights that are on right now, all working together to give this lighting. Now you might say to yourself, oh man, I don't want to set up 7 lights. You don't have to. We'll show you exactly which ones create which parts of the effect. But I want to start off by showing you the most important light in the system. And to do that, I'm going to pick up this little flip video recorder that I just got, and I'm going to turn it on here. And then I'm going to press record. Okay, good. So So there we go. You can see the video camera and the lights. And the light that I'm talking about here is this light. It's called a soft box. It's a square light. You can't see it very well because it's lit up. Right? But the point that you need to get is that it's this square light that's in a black casing that's got some white fabric over the front of it. And the white fabric, what that does is it diffuses the light and it gives this nice kind of soft lighting effect. And that light's the most important. So right now what I want to do is I want to show you what this setup looks like with all the other lights off and just that light on. Okay, so watch this. Okay, so voila, all the other little accent lights are off, and now it's just the softbox. One light. Now, you can see here that this still looks great. In fact, it's a really nice effect, and I could shoot video with one light like this. In fact, I actually shot videos in the past. Some of the videos that I have up on YouTube were shot with just one light like this and a black background. Which reminds me, the background here is just a piece of black paper that I got at the photography store. I think it's 47 bucks or something like that. And it's a whole roll, so you can keep unrolling it and getting a perfect piece if the piece that you're using behind you gets wrinkled or something. And I highly recommend it. You know, it's cheap and gets the job done. So this is a $47 piece of paper and one light. So I like this light because it's cheap. I think they're 150 or 200 bucks for a day flow softbox like this. It's fluorescent, so it doesn't use a lot of power and it doesn't get really hot, and it makes a really nice quality light. So one softbox set at about a 45-degree angle with a piece of black paper behind you gets this really nice effect. Beautiful. So now let me show you the second most important light that you can have, and interestingly enough, it's not a light at all. It's this device right here, which is on a stand, and this thing is called a reflector. And you can see it's this kind of flexible thing. It's got a silver reflective face. And this is something you can also get at the photography store. This particular one is a pretty good one. This one was 50 bucks. Okay. Now what you do with this is you put it across from the light so it lights up the other side of your face. So you'll notice that right now, if I just kind of put this over here, you notice that right now my face is a lot brighter on this side and it's a lot darker on this side. Okay, what we want to do is we want to light this side up a little bit, but keep this side brighter. Okay, it's called character lighting. It's kind of a professional lighting technique where this side's a little bit brighter. So let me just put this right over here and back in its place. And what you'll see now is that this side of me is lit up just a little bit more. Okay, so it adds a little bit more dimension. So these two alone create great lighting. I would use this all day long to shoot video. In fact, again, I've shot a lot of video with a simple lighting setup like this. So next, let's talk about the other little accent lights that I have on around me that light things up a little bit more and take it to the next level. Here's the fun part of these. Okay, all the lights that you're going to be seeing right now that we're going to be using are these fancy babies that came from Home Depot that cost, I think they were $8 for the fixture, and the bulbs themselves are, I think they're a few bucks each. Remember, daylight balanced though, so that the same light is happening here, same quality. So this is the light that I'm going to be showing you. All the lights that I have on around us are all these cheap Home Depot, $8 lights. So nothing fancy. So first, let me turn on the light that's behind me that lights up the backdrop a little bit. Okay, excellent. So that, you'll notice, is lighting up the backdrop behind me, which, because I'm wearing black here, it creates a nice little outline around me. Right? Nice little accent light. In fact, if I step out of the way, you can actually see it right there. In these videos, it's always just hidden behind me, lighting up the backdrop. That's an old photographer's trick. Next, we've got some accent lights here. We've got a couple that are kind of above and behind me and one that's off to the side that light up this side of kind of my shirt and my hair. So you've got the bright light coming in over here that lights this side of my face nice and bright. To have a nice accent light here on this side really makes the picture more dimensional. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to turn off this light right here, and I'm going to turn on these little accent lights right here and show you what just those look like, and then I'm going to put it all on so you can see how it works together. Okay, so now I'm obviously very dark right here, but you can see this accent all in this side and kind of on this side of my body. Okay, very subtle, okay, very subtle, but it's there. Okay, so watch this. So here's what I look like with just the one softbox, the reflector, and the light behind me. And then here's what I look like with the softbox, the reflector, the light behind me, and then the accent lights. Okay, so very subtle, but you can see that they add something to it. And then finally what I've done is I put two more of these cheap little Home Depot lights in front of me. Now these are going to be very, very subtle, but the reason I put these here is because I wanted you to be able to see my eyes better, right, and see a real nice little, what they call a catch light in the eyes, a nice little reflection. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn those on so you can see just the added little bit on the face and the eyes that they give. Okay, so here's without them on, and here's with them on. Okay, so off, a little bit darker, on, a little bit brighter. Okay, so with all these lights on here now, you can see the full effect. Now, it would actually be just fine, again, to use one softbox or the softbox and the reflector. It's a different type of look. You don't necessarily need to have all of this. Sometimes we use different combinations of these lights. Sometimes I don't have the light in the back, depending on the color that I'm wearing. Sometimes if I'm wearing a blue shirt, we don't need all the accent, etc. So mess around with these. Try out combinations. The point, though, is that the key to good-looking video is this softbox. The softbox is the key. It's how we get the great-looking video in all of the video that we shoot. The second most important is this reflector over here to kind of fill in the other side. And then if you want to get a little bit more subtle and dimensional, add these other lights to the system. So here, I'm going to grab my little flip video camera here, turn this thing on. So you can see from where I'm standing what these lights look like, right? So I've got the softbox off here to my left. I've got these two little lights right here with, by the way, you can see that's where my little teleprompter is if I need to read from notes. This is where my reflector is. I've got one light right here that's kind of pointed down. I got a couple of lights up here that kind of brush off my hair on the side. And then back here I've got this light. So that's how this setup looks from where I'm standing. And you can see that I'm surrounded by light, but that I've got a lot of light coming in from right here and in the front, okay? But I'm brighter over on this side, give that nice character lighting. And then I've got these other lights pointed in from here, and then this one in the back, so that I get the kind of the side of me lit here in the hair, so that it gives that nice dimensionality. So next, let's talk about video quality. In other words, the quality of the video that the video camera itself is shooting. Okay, so you can see we've got some gear here. In front of me, I've got a MacBook Pro. I've got a little flip video camera that was about $150 or so, 150 bucks. I've got a Canon HV series camcorder that I think we paid $700 or $800 for. This, by the way, was the video camera, the exact video camera that we used to shoot a lot of our original products and programs, including Wake Up Productive. And then we've got a big beast of a Sony camera here, and this is one of their big XD cams. This is about a $6,000 video camera. And what I want to do is I want to show you how the video from each of these looks. And I'm going to tell you in advance that as you spend more money, the video gets better. Now, the video inside of this MacBook Pro is a little tiny, video camera that's kind of up here, right here in the screen. So that one's not going to look super hot, even though the MacBook Pro itself costs some money. But you're going to see that the video from this little flip video looks great, of course. But when we go over here to the Canon, because it's got a bigger lens and it's got just a little better system, the video is going to look better there. And then, of course, when we go up to the big $6,000 Sony camera, it's going to get even better. But here's what I want you to notice before we do this. I want you to notice that the video doesn't get that much better, okay? That the quality between these three cameras really is very, very similar. You'll notice that the one in the MacBook Pro, the quality there is not that good, but that's okay. We're not really comparing that with these other three because you would use that for shooting screen cam videos and other things that you just wanted to get out quick. But again, I just want you to notice that there's really not there's not $150 to $6,000 difference between these for the purposes of most people. Now, the reason why I have a $6,000 camera and why we have a couple of them is because we do a lot of live seminars and we shoot them and we turn them into products. And this camera has a great lens on it. It works in lots of environments and so forth. So it makes sense for us to have these. We just got them within the last year. But normally I would say that if you want to have, real good video, you could get maybe a little Canon HV series or something similar, or even one of these flip videos is really great. And I'll show you how those work right now. Okay, so let's take the flip video and let's switch to the video on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount this on a little tripod that I've got here. I'm going to put it right next to the big fancy Sony camera that's shooting most of this video already. Okay, so here's the video from the flip video. Okay, flip video, $6,000 Sony video camera. Flip video, $6,000 Sony video camera. Okay, great. So now let's take a look at the Canon. Again, this is a little Canon HV series HD camera that you can get for, whatever, probably $600 or $800. Nice little camera. One of the things that you'll notice about cameras, by the way, is that they have different sized lenses. And typically, the bigger the lens, the better the video you're going to get. So let's take a look at what this one looks like. Okay, so now we got the Canon HV series mounted up, and let's take a look at what the video coming out of the Canon looks like. Okay, so this is the Canon camera. Canon, $600 to $800 camera versus the Sony $6,000 camera. Okay, Canon, $600 to $800 camera. Sony $6,000 camera. As you'll notice again, right, the Sony looks better, no question, but does it look, over $5,000 better? You be the judge. Okay, great. So now I've got the little Canon back, and again, I want to mention that this was the camera, the exact one, in fact, that I used to shoot a lot of my videos up until about last year, including my entire Wake Up Productive program. So a great looking video comes out of this camera, and highly recommended if you want to have, kind of a mid-priced camera that'll shoot video. It's portable. You can take it outside. And we did in a lot of our videos, took it all around. It's nice and light. In the flip video, you just can't beat it. A lot of my friends use this to shoot all their videos. Shoots video in every kind of light. Shoots high definition video. Has a handy little zoom feature here, so you can zoom in and out. It's just a great camera all the way around, also highly recommended. Another accessory you're going to want to get, if you get any of these, including the little flip video, is a tripod, something to set your camera on so it holds it stable for you. And I got a couple here to show you. So I've got this little baby one here, and you can get these for something like 10 or 20 bucks. And these are cool because you just fold these little legs out here, and you mount your little flip video on it, or whatever video camera you've got, and then you can kind of put it on a countertop or wherever. And these things, they're pretty sturdy. It's got a little swivel head here that you can, angle it in any direction you want and then tighten it back up. You could probably even mount this little Canon camera on it. I'm not a professional, I just want you to know, so mount your $800 camera on a tripod like this at your own risk. But as you can see, right, that's pretty stable. It'll work on a countertop for you. I recommend that you point one leg forward so that it's got the most stability there. Because if you've got it with no leg forward and it gets bumped, it might fall over. But great little tripod, right? Gets the job done there. And then if you want to kind of step up, here's a little bit higher end tripod, still a cheap one. This one you can get for in the $100 range. This is a Manfrotto tripod, and it's got the little head on it where you can mount your camera. Most video cameras come with the little screw-on tripod mount, and then it's got the legs here that you just can pull out, and it's got 3 levels of legs. And this is actually the tripod that we were using to mount the flip video and mount this camera on when we shot the last little video samples with them. So get yourself a tripod, makes your life a lot easier. So the next thing I want to show you here, so I just want to open up this MacBook Pro. So what I want to show you is how the video camera looks in this. And I'm just going to kind of hold it up in front of me here so that you can see. Now, Obviously, we can't get the backdrop and everything because this camera has a wider angle of view here so that you see more. But you can just, if you just focus on me here, you know, you can see if we adjusted the backdrop and everything, that it would obviously look more centered. But still nice video, okay, not too bad. Okay, great. So now you've seen what the video looks like, you've seen what the lighting setup looks like. Let's move over to audio. So next, after your video, the audio is very important. Now you might be recording audio to just create an audio program, which is fine, and you'll be able to use what you learn here for that. But having professional audio really improves the quality of video. So let me give you an example here. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my little flip video right now, and I'm going to put it on record. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it out in front of me, and with the magic of audio editing, we're going to just switch the audio back and forth. You're not going to be looking at the video from the flip video. We're just listening to the audio here, okay? So I've got the flip video now held maybe 3 feet in front of me. And now let's listen to the audio from the flip video. Okay, so now you're listening to the audio that's coming from the flip video that was recorded on the flip video. Now you'll hear the microphone that I've got that I'm wearing. Okay, and then back, now we're listening to the audio on the flip video, and now we're listening to the microphone that I'm wearing. Okay, so the audio from the flip video is not too bad, okay, not too bad, but as you can hear, having a microphone this close to me is even better. Point is that a flip video is really an awesome solution for recording both video and audio and getting the whole thing done inexpensively. Then you can take the video, upload it, edit it. YouTube even has a video editor right in YouTube right now, so it just does the whole thing from start to finish. Great little solution. If you want to take your audio up to the next level, you might get yourself a little lavalier mic like the one that I'm wearing here. Now you can get these anywhere from, you know, a decent one from the $100 range up to this one cost about $500 because it's, you know, kind of the best of the best. By the way, if you want to get this, this is a Sennheiser microphone, Sennheiser, and it's the ME105, the Sennheiser ME105. That's what I'm using here. Now, I don't have a whole assortment of these for you to listen to, but I'll tell you that, you know, a $100 one is going to sound probably 70 or 80% this good, and just like anything else, there's a, you know, an increasing cost for that little bit of extra quality. And since we do a lot of video recording, we decided to spring for it. I got this mic, probably 6 or 9 months ago, and records really nice sounding audio. Right? It's just clipped right here. But if you want to get great sounding audio, you want to get the best sounding audio, and probably not going to be recording video, maybe you're going to do a screen cam presentation, or you're going to be recording a teleclass that you're doing, or just creating an audio program, you're going to want to use a traditional microphone. So you remember how I talked about how on the video camera, the lens size, if you got the bigger lens, it captures more light, it makes a better looking video image. Well, same thing on a microphone. The little sensor that's inside of the microphone, in a small microphone like this, it's very small, whereas in a regular sized microphone, it's very big, so it captures audio better. So let's set this one up real quick and listen to how it sounds. Okay, so don't get too freaked out. I'm actually getting out a little mixer board here. I'm going to plug this microphone in. Okay. Now also, if you were going to go all the way to the point of using a mixer, there are other things that this does that I'd, you know, just like to mention for a second. Let's say you're going to do interviews with other people. You need a mixer board. So you can have a couple of different microphones plugged into it. You can mix them together. Sometimes you might want to use 2 microphones for different purposes. Mixer's great. And if you have a regular microphone that's got one of these 3-pin connectors, you basically need a mixer board to be able to control and amplify it so that it actually picks up inside of a computer. So I've got the microphone going into this little mixer, and then the mixer output going right into the input on my computer. Simple. Okay, so as I was setting this up, I remembered that the computer actually has a built-in microphone as well. I'm using a program here called ScreenFlow for the Macintosh. ScreenFlow, which you saw me use in one of the first launch videos for Guru Blueprint. So I'm going to record into ScreenFlow. There's video in here also that it records. It's really nice. It's the program that I was using to record the video out of the the webcam in here. So this is what the audio sounds like coming from the microphone inside the MacBook Pro, maybe 2 feet away from me. Okay, so again, this is what the audio sounds like coming from the MacBook Pro about 2 feet away from me. So this is the lavalier mic, and then here's the MacBook Pro mic. And then here's the lavalier mic, and then here's the MacBook Pro mic. So you can hear that the quality that's coming out of this mic is a lot better, but the quality coming out of the MacBook Pro is still usable. And now we're going to listen to what the audio coming from a real microphone sounds like. Now this is, by the way, this is an AKG D5 microphone. Not very expensive. This is like a $100 microphone. But I just want you to listen to how this sounds. Okay?
So here's the AKG D5 microphone.
And here's the lavalier microphone.
Here's the AKG microphone again. And notice how this microphone just has an overall better audio quality. There's something about it that just sounds a little bit more real, a little bit more present, like I'm right there with you.
And back to the lavalier microphone. And notice how, while this one sounds great, it doesn't quite sound like this microphone. It doesn't sound like a real microphone. So you might ask, well, why don't I use this microphone all the time? Because when I'm shooting video, I don't want to have a big microphone in the shot. I want to have this nice little one, so it's a really nice compromise. Okay, good. So now you can see that there's a quality difference in both audio and in video, and you can get a feel for which type of audio or video you'd like to use and how a more professional audio and video makes a more professional piece of content and a more professional product. All right, so you might be asking now, where do I start? If you're starting from scratch, the first thing that I would buy if you don't already have one is a Mac. I switched over to Macintosh about 2 years ago. So for all types of product creation and production, whether they be in print or audio or video or editing or compressing or anything, most of the professionals that I've talked to, they prefer to use a Macintosh, and I can really see why. It makes it very simple. The next thing I would get is I would get the program ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow. It's, I think, a $97 program that allows you to do screen cam, which means capture the screen as you're using it. It also captures the video input that's coming in, and it records audio, whether through an input or through the mic inside of your Macintosh. It's just a great program. And then the next thing that I would get is I would get myself a softbox. Okay, we talked about the importance of a softbox. I'd get myself a softbox and a reflector, and I'd get myself one of those black pieces of paper at the photography store. And you can put this in any room. I've got it literally set up in the middle of a room. That's my office. It's just a regular apartment that's set up. And we use this setup obviously all day long. Looks very professional. And then if you really wanted to go to the next level, you could go ahead and get some of these other lights. If you're going to buy a video camera, start with a flip video. Okay, it really gets the job done, does a great job. If you want to become a little more professional, the next step up, of course, is to spend several $100s. The Canon HV series is really nice. Really like those. Then if you want to, go all out, you can spend many thousands of dollars on a video camera. But the little Canon HV series will do the job all day long. It's got a great lens in it. It'll create really professional video. Get yourself a microphone. I like to use the Sennheiser mics. They're really nice. Little note here: if you live in a place or you're going to be shooting video in a place that is noisy, get yourself what's called a cardioid mic. Cardioid. Or even a super cardioid mic, which is what this one is. And what that means is it's just fancy language for it only captures the sound right here, and it kind of suppresses all the sound around you. It turns out that I live somewhere that there's a street that's kind of not too far away, and there's an airport here, so there are always planes taking off, and there's a lot of noise. Once in a while there's too much noise and I have to pause, but this microphone has done a lot to eliminate that noise. So get yourself a cardioid mic. You can start with, a $100 mic or so. Sennheiser makes some really nice mics in the $100 to $200 range. If you want to get the best, get yourself something like this, a cardioid or a super cardioid. That's the progression I'd use. And I think that if you do that, you'll get some really good-looking video that also sounds real good. By the way, we use Final Cut, which is a Mac program, Final Cut. And you can get Final Cut and do video like we do, again, all day long because it's the program that we use. And in Final Cut is where we do what I think is my favorite trick in video. You notice how the video keeps switching back and forth between the wide shot and the close shot, like this, like this, like this. Okay, that is an effect that's usually called a two-camera shot. So usually what you'd do is you'd have two cameras set up. You'd have one that would be at the wider shot and one that would be set at the narrower shot. And then you'd be switching back and forth between those two camera angles. Well, because we're creating video that's being streamed and downloaded on the web, what we do is we take our high-definition video camera that's shooting at its highest definition, and what we do is we cut out a little piece inside of the screen. Okay? We cut it out, and that's how we make that effect of zooming in and zooming out. So it's actually all shot with just one camera, and it's all done inside of Final Cut. So that's a little bit more advanced. It's something that you might want to figure out how to do if you're using Final Cut, but it's an amazing technique that gives you that super professional feel, and you only have to shoot your video one time, and then you get to edit it. The other thing that's really cool about that shot switch between the wide and the narrow is it allows you to edit. It allows you to switch when you make a mistake and then go right on to the next piece. And so oftentimes I will stop right in the middle of recording, like here, let me just show you. Okay, so I might stop right there, and then I'll start back up. Okay, and so maybe I'll start back up right now. You can see that I kind of screwed up there a little bit. Watch what it looks like when we add one of those little cuts there. Oftentimes I will stop right in the middle of recording. Okay, and so maybe I'll start back up right now. Okay, great. So you can see how you can cover up a little segment where you maybe made a little mistake. It's a nice little trick for that too, so it serves dual purpose. Okay, so there are the basics about how we shoot video, how we do lighting, how we do audio. Definitely start out with a Macintosh if you're planning on doing this seriously in the long term. Get yourself a softbox and a reflector. Get yourself, get a flip video or one of those little Canon cameras. Really nice. Get yourself some kind of a nice lavalier mic so that you have good quality audio. Get yourself a black piece of paper at the photography store for 45 or 50 bucks, and you'll have everything you need to create really, really nice looking video, really nice products. Okay, so get to it, and I will see you in the next training.